The advising is so terribly important. The individualized study plan and the continuous conversation with an advisor who is responsive to the individual student and what her real sense of vocation is, you know, developing a clear sense of what she really wants to do, which is beautiful because it can, you know, if you're meeting with a student semester to semester, you've got an ongoing conversation and you can, you know, talk about what is appropriate to take this semester, and then after the semester, how to go. You know, what'd you discover? How should we tweak this thing to include and exclude and, you know, kind of refine the study plan? So that's part of the joy of the program, and what's so great about how students emerge from it as pretty well-fashioned adults.
One of the main things I think students need to understand is that the study plan form is a worksheet. It's a work in progress. You don't have to have a complete, perfect one filled out until the very end of your path through liberal studies. So there's 5 main courses or 5 main areas that you need to address in this study plan form. The first one is the core. And we recommend that students, as early as possible, take Lib 100, which is Introduction to Liberal Education, first. This really sets the foundation for what the degree is about. It talks about the idea of liberal education, gives the idea of students taking ownership and responsibility for their education. It really sets the stage. Plus, it fulfills the philosophy and literature gen ed category foundation. So we get a lot of students in that class who aren't necessarily looking to become liberal studies majors, but you know, through the exposure of that class, suddenly start thinking about their education in other ways. We have an ethics course in there. We have a course about meaning and dialogue. Courses have both a theoretical and an application aspect to them. So you're not just talking about theory, but how do we dialogue? How do we create meaning? Visionary Thinkers course allows them to dive into a visionary thinker in a much deeper way, their life, their works, their responsibilities. So they get a good description of a person who is pursuing liberal education themselves or impacting different areas of study in an interdisciplinary manner. The second main area is an emphasis area. Primarily, students have to comprise their own emphasis focus, and they can draw from classes from a variety of disciplines. In fact, we require that. Obviously, if you had all writing classes, you'd be a writing major, but we would like students to have that emphasis area come from multiple disciplines. The emphasis area requires a minimum of 18 credits, 15 of which have to be 300 level or above. The third main area is the integrative and contextual electives area, and students use this area in a number of different ways. Some students put a cluster of courses that they've perhaps created from switching majors previously. Some students put a series of introductory courses on there, Intro to Social, Intro to Psych, Intro to Anthropology. Some students want that particular session or section to communicate a certain set of skills that they have, computer literacy, business exposure, something like that. The fourth area is the application and synthesis area, and that is comprised of the Lib 491, the practicum, and Lib 495, the capstone or the senior seminar. The senior seminar is the place where students will create their integrative statement, create a portfolio, really learn to articulate what they have done in their Lib Studies degree. Usually the practicum and the capstone come at the very end of the student's study plan. The last area is the degree cognate. Now, students pursuing a liberal studies degree can get either a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science. Bachelor of Arts requires them to have third semester proficiency in a language, and the Bachelor of Science requires a sequence of courses. The first one is Statistics 215, US 300, which is Interdisciplinary Research Methods, and then Philosophy 103, which is Logic. The form has signatures. You don't need these signatures on the form until the very, very end. A lot of students use this as a worksheet or a study. It's a work in progress. You change, it's not uncommon for students to change it several different times throughout their progress through the degree. So you can be in constant dialogue with your advisor about the plan, and at the very end, type up and formalize and file it. And it goes on file in the records office with their integrative statement. I would recommend that students, as they're filling out their study plan form, take a look at our website, and under advising forms and resources for students, look at sample study plans, sample emphasis areas. You don't have to choose from these, but this will give students who are interested in learning more about this major samples from students who have gone before.